as soon as I heard the first panelist, which was very interesting, inspiring. I may thank the organization for this initiative. Once Ruben came to me and asked if I would like to become a strategic partner and sponsorize this event, I directly said yes. And I'm very happy to be here because it's a high-level discussion on the blue economy. I came with no book, but if I may, I'm going to extract some sentences of the book of Excellency Peter Thompson. So I've heard about marine protected areas are vital, and I heard also that 110 countries are committed to follow the challenge of the 30 by 30. So I'm a very optimistic person, but I can tell that this challenge is very tough. It's going to be very complex to address unless we can help them incentives countries to get money out of marine protected areas. This could be a clearly game changer. So this is exactly the vision of NOAA, which I've created 8 years ago, which means Network of Ocean Ambassador Headquarters. The Regen term, it's for sure for regeneration, and it's all about setting up an ecosystem to kickstart the Blue Revolution. We are here at a kickstarting point of the Blue Revolution. I think there is some challenges to make it stronger, to make it more powerful, more concrete, and more impactful, and we need to do it in a regenerative way. So for this, I believe it was needed an ecosystem. Another sentence that I can tell is, without funds, we are going nowhere. So it was all about setting up a blue carbon methodology, a blue carbon technology that unlocked the market, which is truly a game changer for the planet. When I say the planet, I'm talking about humanity. Planet is going to turn around for billions years. Humanity, we're not that sure if we go the same direction. So basically, NOAA is, as I said, an ecosystem which wishing to address a carbon cascade mechanism, unlocking for sure the blue carbon credits. So for this, NOAA is now an international group. We have set up a company called Blue Carbon Lab, where we have invested massively to unlock technologies for the blue carbon market. So now we can announce that the first proof of concept reached 96% accuracy. So we now are able to analyze audits, certify carbons sequestrated below the water, which was a big challenge. And the next challenge is how to trace, reinvest those carbon revenues unlocked into a circular economy for the transition of countries. So this is an ecosystem. We built a toolkit. The first part of the toolkit is a climate emergency legislation. So I'm traveling all around the world to help countries adopting those climate emergency legislation to make it happen, to attract foreign investment into their NDCs. Here I can say that Portugal is leading the way. It's one of the most advanced countries to push forward for the blue economy. The second part is how to channel those funds, how to trace it, how to operate blended finance in a very efficient way. So we are delivering a financial ecosystem. Then the third layer is how to value the natural resources. Here I'm talking about carbon for sure, and mostly blue carbon, as now we are able to unlock part of it. Then we can help them with a clean tech toolkit to find the best technologies and the most impacting ones. And we help them from the setup to the scale up, because at the country level, it's very complex to organize industrial projects for their transition. And all of it is adopting a blockchain traceability for making it transparent. Okay, so just an example about the climate emergency legislation. So it's how to fast track public-private partnership, how to unlock and reinvest their blue carbon and their carbon in general, how to enable blended finance, how to trade taxonomy, and we are dealing with blue nations, which are free zones for the planet. The first one have been adopted recently, adopting a blockchain ledger for the traceability, adopting strategic marine protected areas of natural park for valuing as much as possible the natural resources. So this is the way we believe blended finance can truly become a game changer and a multiplicator effect to de-risk private equity and to inject it into the circular economy of the transition. So first, we value the carbon market of countries. We unlock the blue carbon, which is estimated by ECDE of 24 plus trillion dollar markets. So if we can get it and inject it into the transition, it can be a game changer at global scale. So we value this, we issue the carbon credit as sovereign carbon credits, then we trace this, there's a digital twin going into the blockchain to eliminate the greenwashing and the blue washing. And we trade it on a carbon next stock exchange only for carbon that are traceable. Then we are setting up the Global Blue Carbon Bank with an international banking license to channel those funds. And we, with the legal climate emergency framework, we ask the countries to reinvest 70% or less of those unlock new sources of revenues as junior tranche, first loss, everything dealing with technical assistance, due diligence, setting up pipeline of bankable projects, all of that pre-early stage financing that the private equity doesn't know how to invest and the banking system neither. So this is a de-risking investment where we can get the multiplicator effect. So Saritza, the executive director of World Tourism Organization, is going to introduce certainly the Climate Emergency Facility, which is another tool enabling blended finance with a higher level. And we have set up the Blue Climate Fund to bring private equity into the game. So this is the way we monetize carbon and we use it, we multiplicate it and we inject it with a traceability into the circular economies of the transition for countries. So let me introduce a bit the carbon cascade mechanism. So we call it Reach the Reef, where we help countries adopting protected areas, inland and waters, to where there is the most strategic capabilities of a carbon cascade. If we invest in carbon farming or reforestation into wetlands and areas that directly affect the ocean, in the same time, if we're able to audit the carbon reference state in the same oceans area, then we can get an additional credit with the same investment. But also we can audit marine protected areas of countries and get carbon credit directly out of it. So this is the way we can value at the highest level the carbon market for countries. Okay, so this is the blockchain platform that we are setting up, which is going to be delivered before COP27, announced at COP, which basically ends up with a QR code. So everybody will be able to scan it and to understand what is the project, who is the auditor, who is the certifier, what is the score in ESG, SDG, carbon score. So everything will be traceable. How those carbons have been reinvested, what is the multiplicator effect, what is the impact of the project that are being funded. So, oh, sorry. No, it doesn't work properly. So for this, we are setting up with partners an NGO, which is going to be Global Ocean Trust Chain, GOT, which is the way to decentralize a governance with a blockchain mechanism, proof of authority mechanism, which is a platform as a service to digitalize the blue value chain at the global scale. So we have many layers here. One of them is one of our partners is setting up the UN Ocean University with 400 PhD from the marine ecosystems. We have a lot of toolkits here where the value chain will be able to plug, ask for services, and this is going to be the platform unlocking the blue carbon credit. We're going to call it Blue Plus in relationship with the RED Plus mechanism of UNFCCC carbon credits. So this is on the way, potentially also announced before COP27. So this is it. I'm very happy to be here, mostly because this mechanism is a game changer for highland states, which are large ocean states. They have a lot of areas on waters where we can get them value, new resources, new funding mechanism. This is completely game changer for them. So even I'm inviting Madeira and Portugal to consider adopting the Blue Plus into their indices and to move forward as a pioneer country for the blue economy. End of the presentation.
Thank you, Frédéric, very much indeed. There's a huge amount to get our heads around in this, and I think for those not familiar with finance, this is quite a complicated sort of system of work. I mean, it is in essence a kind of blue carbon valuation and trading mechanism that you want to set up, which encourages countries to value the blue carbon that they already have and also incentivize them to develop new blue carbon resources. How would you apply this thinking to Portugal's ambitions for 30 by 30 marine protected areas? Because marine protected areas are a really critical part of this this whole equation, aren't they? How would you sort of think that question through?
Okay, so Portugal is a great example. It's a coastal territory with highlands. So they have a lot of to value if they want to protect. So they have to adopt marine protected areas. So we have a really good example here, how they get out of this marine protected area today in terms of revenue, just because they protect it. Nothing. So if we can monitorize it, not only Madeira and the marine protected area, but also all the coast, all the EEZ, where our technology can unlock this. I mean, this is a new, new revenue sources for the country that can be massive. As I said, the market is estimated roughly up to $24 trillion. So all of those countries, and Portugal is long coast area. So this is a possibility for them to say, okay, how can I monetize it in the right way? It's not only about adopting marine protected area, but then to regenerate, to protect it, to bring additionality in terms of biodiversity, carbon sequestration. So we bring the toolkit on the table for them to be not in the middle of the desert, so that we can help them to go step by step, and then said, okay, this is what I've done. If I didn't do it, this will be potentially the state of our oceans. Now I protect it. Please help me with the carbon credits. So if we can do it into carbon, sovereign carbon into their indices, it coming a very cool, very valuable carbon credits that we can trade a high value. And if they want to reinvest it properly into the transition of their economy, it's a multiplicator effect that is going to change the economy at the global level.
And I guess just as your observation about COP27, this idea that the countries that do understand and evaluate their blue carbon resources would then put them into their nationally determined contributions as a way of...
I had other slide, but I didn't go through, but we have already signed countries. Right. One of them is Panama, that we've signed COP26. They are putting the blue carbon into their indices. Yeah. We are starting to audit. We are going to start regenerating, showcasing the additionality, and issuing sovereign carbon credit out of it. So this starting to become, let's say, a race to unlock the blue carbon first, because we cannot go everywhere today. So we're going to go step by step. So.